Happy Burgundy and Gold Scrimmage Day at Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park. Washington held a inter-squad scrimmage between the gold versus the burgundy team, which was really the white versus the burgundy team. And we got a big Terry McLaurin update, as you can see here on screen. That is your general manager, Adam Peters, and that is Terry McLaurin. And I know what the hood up posture means, but clearly progress is being made because this is the first time we've seen Terry out watching practice, out with the team during practice, and not showing up at the end of it. Ja'Cory Krosky merit injury update. 9 players set out the scrimmage today, and apparently Jaden's team lost the scrimmage versus the burgundy team today. No, versus the gold team. The gold team won the scrimmage. But let's get active. Let's overreact for no reason, and let's become body reading expert. Let's pod. What it do and what's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. It is Tuesday, August 12th, and today was the Burgundy and Gold Invitational intra-squad scrimmage, and we had been chatting in the group chat about, is this something they pivoted to because how flat the team looked in the preseason opener, or was this premeditated? And we got mixed reviews in the chat on which one we thought it was. Well, after today, seeing the energy, the effort, and the way that the team was divided and segregated, this was definitely premeditated. This was always going to happen, considering Washington doesn't have a preseason game this week. It's the Monday nighter. So they got to get some game live reps in this week. They had joint practices and a game last week. This is the joint practice for this week going into our Monday night primetime preseason home opener versus the Cincinnati Bengals coming up. So they had this planned all along, and I think this is a brilliant idea. I love it. You got the guys roaming around the campus, divided, segregated. Probably should stop saying the word segregated before Jerry Jones pops up in support of the team. But they definitely got the team divided up. They set tripping. Very Capulet versus the Montagues, Greasers versus the Socius, Jets versus the Sharks. You get my drift. They got the team split up. And what's cooler is they divided the coaching staff. And it's kind of an audition of sort for guys like Tavita Pritchard, who's calling the plays for one side, and Brian Johnson, who's calling the plays for the other. Tom Donatel and Jason Simmons for the opposing defenses. But Joe Witt had a team. Cliff Kingsbury had a team. I imagine Cliff had the team with Jaden, the team that ended up losing this scrimmage, and Joe Witt had the other guys. So I imagine Cliff handpicked most of the offense, and Joe Witt got his starting defensive unit. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, the details, and Linnell Willingham's play-by-play of what was happening in today's scrimmage, the guys on the screen is probably the biggest news that came out today. And the team immediately told people, per Grant Paulson, to stop taking pictures and videos of Adam Peters and Terry McLaurin, because they know that this fan base can turn into damn Sherlock Holmes. Do y'all remember the way that we were investigating and freeze framing and lip reading through the Making the Brand videos when the team was in transition of team names? You already know people was going to do that. But Terry McLaurin was seen at practice today for the first time while practice was taking place. He was there watching the entire Burgundy versus Gold scrimmage. And obviously so was Adam Peters. And per Dan Quinn at his presser this morning, him and Peters pretty much put the rosters and stuff together in the staffs in collaboration. So Adam Peters is very involved with personnel. Obviously, he runs the whole football operation here. You see Terry, you see the demeanor, you see the posture, hood up, hands in his pockets. He looks like the Kermit the Frog meme that we had going on Twitter like 8 years ago. And I know what this demeanor looks like. You ever got into an argument with your girl, or with a coach, or with your supervisor at work, an argument in which you feel like you're in the right, but you're going to hear them out. So you're just nodding and agreeing. And you look like a fucking bobblehead because it's just way more head movement than you ever use in conversation. Like, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get this done too. And per Grok, because everybody was asking Grok, the AI feature on Twitter. I hate AI, but it's funny on social media. Someone asked Twitter's or X's Grok feature, what's happening here? What's the lip reading say? And it says, based on frame analysis and lip reading, Terry McLaurin appears to say to Adam Peters, I'm committed here, but we need to finalize the deal soon. This fits the context of his ongoing contract holder. Man, they don't know what the fuck he said, but they're putting 2 and 2. They are going through their search analysis of the interwebs and putting together 2 and 2 of a contract dispute. They don't know what he's saying. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to give me a better read of what this lip reading analysis is, but you see the demeanor. You see Adam Peters in full big dick mode, hands on his hips, elbows out, standing in a position of power like he's about to play bass guitar or some shit. big man on campus type shit. They're probably having the most normal fucking conversation. They're probably having the most, how are you feeling? How's the ankle? How was vacation? How's the new missus? They're probably having the most casual, normal conversation. But you see a guy like Terry with his hood up, hands in his pockets, head down, nodding and agreeing to everything the supervisor is saying. And as fans, we're going to overreact to everything because this is a big development. One, we don't see his champ-ass agent at practice. We haven't seen him since the trade request officially came out. Don't think we'll see him again. I think old Buddy Baker got his parking pass revoked from Northern Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park. But this is interesting. And I think this is steps in the right direction. And I hope Grok is right, because if Grok is correct, we are getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. And I think I read somewhere that Terry has been taking a part of team meetings as well as showing up to this practice today. So that is your Terry McLaurin update for Tuesday, August 12th. A scrimmage did take place at the park today, and I think that was such a good idea, by the way, because we don't have anything competitive going on. This is a proverbial bye week of the preseason. So Dan Quinn came to the podium this morning to address the media before the scrimmage started, and he listed the players that were going to be out today in today's practice. And it was 9 players that he listed: Terry McLaurin, Sam Cosmi, Marcus Mariota, Noah Brown, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, Brandon Coleman, Jordan McGee again, Bobby Price. But also a name he did not list, but per John Keim, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, a.k.a. Bill Merritt, who in his preseason debut gave us all a heart attack when he went to go get checked out in the blue tent during the Patriots game. Hopefully this is just precautionary, but John Keim says Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt did not participate in the scrimmage, had a shoulder issue from the preseason opener. Nothing big, just precautionary. Chris Rodriguez had a nice outing, also sustained a block at the goal line on a Hartman scramble for a touchdown at the end of the day. And Hartman and Rodriguez's team ended up being the victors in today's Burgundy versus Gold scrimmage. Ooh, don't let an Eagles fan see. They're going to call for the sophomore slump. How dare Jaden lose a scrimmage at practice on August 12th, 2025. But this is a big deal or nah? Do we think Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt's injury is something serious? It's a shoulder. I think I would rather that it was a shoulder than a concussion, because when I see blue tint, I immediately thought concussion, because he did get boomed on a couple times. He got the lumber laid on him a couple times. No pause there. Y'all know what I meant. He got the lumber laid on him a couple times in that Patriots game. He took some big hits. A couple of them were a little late while he was going down or already down on the play. But bubble wrap, my guy, I've seen enough. I wonder if this affects his status for Monday. Y'all think JCM's going to play on Monday? I think we're going to see JCM on Monday, so there's no reason to have him go live in today's practice. But the media was out in full force. They were doing a live command center stream to get everyone hyped up and ready, and to talk about the vibes at the park before the Burgundy and Gold scrimmage. But per usual, and just like the joint practice, all cameras were cut and we did not get to see any of the Burgundy and Gold. See, I was just tweeting the other day. I literally just tweeted like Sunday. They need to bring back Friday night football at Northwest. It was Friday night at FedEx before. They were doing it a few years ago where they had the intra-squad scrimmage at the stadium and fans could come out. It was free and it was like a taste test menu for the season as far as all the restaurants in the stadium. So it was kind of like game day treatment before practice. A lot of teams still do it. Like the Eagles do their green and white thing where the fans come to watch it. Landon Dickerson, actually, their starting center, actually got hurt in their version of this Burgundy and Gold scrimmage that they did a couple days ago. But I was just talking about how I missed that. So I totally understand them doing that. I don't think that this is some last minute put together. We got our ass kicked in preseason. We need to do something now and switch the. No, I think they had this planned they have shirts. They have t-shirts that say the Battle of Brotherhood, Burgundy and Gold game 2025. And the winners of this game, the gold team, they got shirts that say all Ashburn. So it's clearly premeditated. I know an NFL team could cook up t-shirts within a few hours, but I imagine this was all. They got jersey shirts that they've been cooling in all week. It looked like a bunch of camp counselor vibes at training camp, but I love the competitive spirit in nature of having an inter-squad scrimmage, especially in a week where you're not holding joint practice or have a preseason game. We have two to close out the preseason next week, Monday and Saturday. Very short week. So this is honestly the last week of real training camp. Fans are no longer showing up to practices, and this is a huge week for your depth and bubble guys who are looking to make the final roster. So it's paramount that they gave these guys more game reps this week. But Linnell Willingham, of 106.7 The Fan and of the Team 980 pregame show on Sundays for the team, he was giving us the most play-by-play of anyone that I saw today from the joint practice. From the scrimmage. He said full team scrimmage this morning out in Ashburn. First team D-line versus first team O-line is what it looks like. Really good opportunity to evaluate the guys. Luke Debo and Jalen Lane were your starting receivers for the Burgundy team. Looks like the first team offense. First team while Terry's out. I imagine that's going to be Jalen Lane in the slot and Terry and Debo on the outside when Terry gets back. First possession for the first team offense ends in a Dorrance Armstrong sack. Terry spotted with Adam Peters. Yep, we just got into that. Mikey lit Luke McCaffrey up. And by the way, this was live. This was fully live, and I believe they were tackling to the ground to a point. And there was even a couple skirmishes and fights that guys had to say, these are your fucking teammates, brother. These are your teammates. There is no need for all of that shit here. Pass came out a little late, a low from JD5 to Ertz, incomplete pass. First team offense hasn't got much going. We need 17 out there, man. But good to hear for the defense. The starting defense that we didn't see versus the Patriots because we set the whole damn roster. Good to hear the defense is stepping up because I need the defense to have a better camp than the offense because we know what the offense is going to do in the regular season. We know what Cliff and Jaden and company going to do. All they got to do is protect them. We know what the offense is going to be elite. Really good block downfield from Cole Turner. And they still trying to make fetch happen with Cole Turner, I see. That's what's up, though. Good block on a goal line touchdown. Really good open field tackle from Mike. You just hear Mikey's name show up all over everything all summer. Zero is looking to have a huge camp. But the offense, one thing to keep in mind, still can't feel the full impact of 5. The offense is going to need him to run. Exactly. And they're not going to run him in practice. Duke Riley's already flashing in practice. This tweet alone is more than we've got from Dom Hampton in his entire tenure here. So that is good to see. You can really feel the impact of the pass rush. We spoke all season about how the team needed to do more at the edge position. Well, guess what? They've done more at the edge position, and they've been having a good camp so far. But we still got to see it versus a live rush and a live football game, and we're not going to really get that until September. But we're going to see guys out in the field in what could be like the dress rehearsal type game in preseason on Monday versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And JD5 to KJ to friendly goes Osborne on the slot, beat Marshawn Lattimore off the release. Debo with a sick release off the line, JD5 overthrow, and Amos defended a beautiful ball from JD5 from getting to Jalen Lane. And at the end of the day, he said, feeling a little bit different about the Terry situation now that he's out here. If you don't know what that means, Linnell said he thinks Terry played his last down in Washington, but after seeing him out there talking to Adam Peters today and he sees the mood and temperament, he's changed his course on that. So y'all lay off Linnell because Linnell is bold. He's bold and he's willing to go against the grain of what the other media members are saying when it comes about this team. And shout out to Linnell for giving us this analysis because like the New England practices, we were pretty cut off from the media while practice was taking place. Little scuffle took place between Noah Igbenogany and the white squad after Noah popped C-Rod big ass. Several coaches got involved. Bobby Wagner said, y'all getting y'all asses kicked. And Luvu said, man, that's your teammate. Love that. Love both sides of that. Love the dog ass energy. And to close this one out, I believe JP put out this. They took this scrimmage very seriously. Like Adam Peters and Dan Quinn set in the office on some fantasy draft type shit and put together a full ass legitimate roster. Like, look at the roster for this shit. They got it color coordinated with the burgundy and gold squads, which was white jerseys versus burgundies, by the way. And you can see how they divvied up and separated the players for the burgundy and gold invitational. But that's exciting. That's fun. And the most exciting part about today is that one Terry McLaurin, our GM and our wide receiver are having conversations. That's healthier than you're going to see Trey Hendrickson's situation in Cincinnati. It's healthier than that Micah Parsons. You're not going to see Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones having conversations for photo op opportunities. You're not going to see it. So encouraging, moving in the right direction, and we don't know what they're saying, but if you are a body language, lip reading expert, please bring your expertise to the comments of this video and let us know what was going on. Gold team wins. They get all Ashburn shirts, and we get the first reunion of Adam Peters and Terry McLaurin in the same frame that we've seen all the offseason. That's all I got for right now. I'm trying to get Linnell on the show. I'm trying to see if I can get him on sometime today. Lake Lewis will be on tomorrow, so he can let me know what happened in this scrimmage today. And I'll be on the NFC East Roundtable channel tonight at 6 p.m. Make sure y'all pull up to that. That's all I got for right now. Hell to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio,